Afternoon, folks. You want to see something really cool? This is a fantastic, custom, magnificently outfitted 12 by 36, fully enclosed. Is the biggest building we've ever done. So check this out. Well, this is bound to be one of the longer videos that I've taken because there's so much to discuss here. This is an incredible off-grid custom building that we just finished, that's slated for delivery up into Northern Ontario sometime in the near future. So obviously, you know, blatantly apparent right off the hop, we have steel siding with a pine face on the front. The juxtaposition between the warmness of the siding and the steel is amazing, obviously. And when we do a black steel or any dark color, really, it totally makes sense to go with black windows. So on this side, you can see three 48-inch by 36-inch windows. Our customer here, hi customer, I'll leave you anonymous, but opted for, you know, the lovely tongue and groove face on here with a full glass window in the door. These big guys, of course, we can't get wooden structure big enough for the bottom, so they always end up with steel I-beams. And then on this side, we have some different window sizes. And when I get into this building, I'm going to show you some of the unique features of the interior because it was designed in such a way that it really totally makes sense. So a couple more things I'd like to point out on the outside. The soffit here, I don't know if oh yeah, you can see it. So this is a ventilated soffit the whole side. It's got a hole like every 4 inches and 3 rows of that run all the way down along here. That's lots and lots of air to go through the baffle vents that run all the way up to the fully ventilated ridge cap. All of our roofs, regardless of the siding that you pick, we have a foam gasket that runs along. Let me see if I can get a closer look at that for you. That runs along the profile of the roof. Keeps all the bugs and the, you know, a little bit of the moisture out of there, but on a gable roof like this, it's less of an issue. That stuff's really sticky on the bottom and it conforms to the profile of the roof, so it's a perfect fit every time. A nice and clean finish on that. I love black on black. The other thing that's worth noting is we use like the best quality caulking, and my partner here is an expert at the installation of it. That's a super tight fit around this window, and like the amount of caulking we go through in one of these buildings would really surprise you. We buy them by the box of a dozen and go through a heck of a lot of them. Another 4x4 window here on the end. Man, this thing is monstrous. So we've done a 36 footer before, but it had a 6-foot porch on it. This is a fully enclosed 36 footer, and man, does it ever feel big. And it is. So, you know, I'm a whole bunch of steps to get to the end of this. So you can do steel in vertical or horizontal orientation. This one's vertical, and then we opted for horizontal on the face. Looking so good. So our gable roof here, we call this our Algonquin style. You could do this in a Bancroft, which is a single slope, get you a little bit more headroom inside, but honestly, in a building this big, you don't need that. And this building has an engineered trussing system in the roof, which is similar to this build that we're doing up at the same time. The guys are like on fire. You see these trusses we get brought in from the truss factory. They're just so strong. So you get a 7-foot wall and then 8 feet to the collar tie. That's something you can't see in this building. So what do you think? Just a monster. I'm gonna go inside here. Just give me a second. Okay, so through our big, beautiful, full glass door here. Smells like a brand new build with all kinds of caulking in here as well. So as soon as you walk in, you see a 4-foot by 3-foot window off to the side of the door. And then, really smartly, we put a 3/4 wall here. So this is designed to be used for a bed. And it's a really good spot for one with a nice big window on the side. That's gonna be a nice little alcove for the sleeping part of the cabin, which is really smart in my opinion. And then we enter into this massive open space. I'm gonna really take my time in here today and show you guys how much space you really have in a 36 footer, because you can see in the back corner there's a whole other room back there. So we've got another 4 foot by 4 foot here and a 4 foot by 4 foot here. All the windows on this side of the building are 4x3s. And this thing is just like cavernous. I can imagine how we could potentially turn this into 2 full bedrooms and still find a place to put a bathroom and a small kitchen. I'm so impressed by this. Like it takes me a while just to get from one side of it to the other. So you can see what I said before. Here we have a 7 foot wall that levels off to 8 feet at the center to the collar tie, and then back down to a 7 foot wall over here. And this building feels big. I mean, it is. A 12 foot wide building is really more like 10.5 feet wide by the time we factor in the exterior space that we need for the soffit and the eaves. So here we're about 10.5 feet. And if this is meant to be a living dining combo space, like absolutely tons and tons of space for that. And the way this flows right from the big glass door all the way through is a really nice way to capture the light and the view from there. And when you walk in, you just have your little bed over here. I'm not sure how she's gonna set it up with the rest of her stuff, but wow, this is impressive. And then we got another surprise here for you. So behind this custom made door, we have a whole other space in here. And this is designed to be the washroom space. So this is 6 feet in width with a nice big 4 foot by 4 foot window right on the end of the building. So this is really like 6 by 10.5 in here. There's enough room in here for whatever you wanted to do for a washroom. You could fit a washer and a dryer in here, a shower. You could do a 4-piece bath, 5-piece bath. Like, look at all the room in this. So really, if you're thinking about doing a bigger space, and I'll be frank with you guys, like we don't build a lot of houses because it's not that we can't, it's not that we won't. We just find the regulations are so frustrating. This is designed as an off-grid cabin, right? This is designed as a seasonal cottage. We can build this to the code that allows for this kind of construction. So for example, I'm just gonna keep walking around here. I'm sorry if I make you dizzy. This build has R14 in the walls. It has R14 in the ceiling. We do have our trusses in here. We do have R10 in the floor. So like hunt camp, cottage building, accessory building, all that kind of stuff is very different than domicile as far as the building code is concerned. If this was meant to be a full-time house, and I think this is ridiculous, but they would make us put R32 in the floor, R22 in the walls, and R38 at a minimum in the roof, which is totally excessive. You're gonna be able to heat this thing easily with, I would think, maybe one of those 20,000 BTU Martin direct vent propane heaters. I mean, this is designed for an off-grid application, so they're gonna be pursuing some stuff like that. There's no reason you couldn't get away with something like that in a building that's in this kind of square footage is very thermally efficient at R14. You don't need R60. Like, some of the codes are just crazy, and they keep talking about the affordable sort of housing crisis that we're having, and then they won't let us build affordably. At this kind of price point for a building like this, you can have a really nicely put together building that is, you know, designed for a particular use case. So this is a permitted build, obviously. It's a lot bigger than the bunkies that you often see us doing. But it did get a permit, and it got a permit as a seasonal cottage. So what do you think, guys? This is gorgeous. I'm so tickled with how this has turned out. I know the customer is gonna be happy as she could possibly be. This one's a nice one. It sure is. And it's a big one too. One more walkthrough. So space one, big, huge space number two. And we work our way down here to space number three, all under one roof. This is a very large Highland Outbuilding. And we couldn't be happier with the customer trusting us with this build. This has been in the works for a very long time, and she's gonna be so happy when this thing drops on her property and she gets to start using this, because she's owned this property in the north for a significant amount of time and hasn't really been able to use it. And this is gonna step that game up significantly. So thanks for watching, guys. This is a monster. This is a big one. We can build them big or small for you too. So check us out at highlandoutbuildings.com. Lots of information on the Facebook page. We're easy to find on all the socials at Highland Outbuildings. And you can call me anytime at 705-309-9088. Thanks for watching. Cheers.